Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Random Vlogging. Update on yesterday. Sorry this is late. To not get into too many details, yesterday is one of the worst days I've had in a very, very long time. I'm still trying to get through it, and I'm in a very, very bad, dark place right now. So kind thoughts and words are much appreciated, and prayers and anything else. I really do appreciate it. I'm not sure how I'm getting through this right now, but it is really, really worrying me and scaring me. Again, I'm not going to go into too many details, but life sucks right now. However, I want to talk about something different, something a little bit more lighthearted, and I'm probably going to step on a few toes. I'm sorry if I step on your toes, and I'm sorry if I insult you or anything like that. However, I have a differing opinion, and I think this opinion needs to be heard. So, Scott Tumulty. Scott Tumulty is an amazing, wonderful, awesome human being in general. If you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the Geek and Sundry vloggers. He made it through the actual vlogger search, and is just phenomenal. He has a vlog he does semi-weekly about retro gaming, which is really, really awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. He also does streaming every Monday called Garlic Bread Mondays, which is the best part of Monday, to be perfectly honest. And he's amazing, and he's wonderful, and he's incredibly intelligent, and I have an immense man crush on him and internet crush on him. So, Scott Tumulty, you are awesome. And I really think you're a wonderful person. However, I disagree strongly with one of the videos that you just made, which this is in response to, which is pre-order content. There has been a huge, huge deal made about this pre-order content for Aliens. There's a new Aliens game coming out. I have not looked into all of the info on it because I'm not a huge Aliens fan. I know you guys can kill me tomorrow, all right? But Aliens itself is a huge franchise. It redefined science fiction when it first came out. Sigourney Weaver was phenomenal as Ridley. So my understanding of the situation is the company that's making it is making a pre-order bonus where you get exclusive missions for pre-ordering from a certain retailer that they haven't defined yet. Again, my understanding. By the time this goes live, they may have, and I apologize. Anyway, and the bonus content is you basically get to play as Ridley, which is an iconic, amazing character that everybody that loves Aliens loves. And as far as like feminist characters, she was really, really badass. She did some amazing things. Sigourney Weaver is also an amazing actress in general. So great, great, great thing. Scott's opinion is he's really, really upset because he doesn't want to pre-order, but he wants to play this content. And he thinks that it's unfair that this company is doing that because, let's be perfectly honest, there have been companies that have done a lot of hype and stuff, and the game has come out has been mediocre, and people that pre-ordered have felt a little bit betrayed. I understand where you're coming from. However, I don't agree with it. Specifically because I have a background in business. I've been in retail management for 4 years. I'm studying for a degree in marketing management, which is half business management, half marketing, all business. I have a very unique view of the business world because I've had to deal with budgets and I've had to deal with profit and loss statements and stuff like that in my career. And I know how difficult it is for retailers to be able to continue to give customers what they want and still be able to make a profit effectively. Because profits are what are used to pay people so that they can keep doing this. And anyone that's ever worked retail, specifically retail management, knows this to be a fact. It is a difficult job. It's an unbelievably difficult and demeaning job because a lot of the customers will come in and rip you a new one for something that is completely outside of your control. And I have been called names that I didn't know what they were, and I had to look them up before I could be insulted by them. It's not a fun field. So in the realm of business, I am not a video game developer. However, I understand the basics of the process just from my own experiences in business. To create a video game takes years. It does. That's how it works, because it's a lot of very difficult work. You have programming, you have bug fixing, you have artists that do things, you have writers that create the scripts and the storytelling, you have producers that are making sure the theme and everything are going the way, you have your director that has kind of control over everything, and then you have everybody else that you never hear about, the people that work in marketing that make sure enough people know about the game, the people that work directly with the retailers to get them to purchase copies of the game so that they can sell them. You know, all these people are integral. All of them have to get paid. Literally. They need to get paid, and they can't wait 2 or 3 years for a paycheck because of stupid things like eating. So in order to pay them, there are a bunch of different ways to do it. A lot of companies will do what's called using investors, where basically it's a guy that gives you money to say, hey, I want you to do this, and I will give you money to do it. However, I expect something in return. 9 times out of 10, it's a share of the profits. So yeah, they may, to use easy numbers, they may invest $1,000 and expect to get about $1,500 back. They just made $500, which is a 50% return on their investment, if my terminology is correct, which is great. They made $500 for nothing. So that's great. However, investors create issues because once they start paying you, they have control over you. They really do. Once somebody can take their money away and say, well, I'm sorry, if you're not going to do it the way that I want you, you don't get my money, they get a say in how the game's built. And investors don't technically need to know anything about the video game industry. They just need to have money. And so that can create issues. It's one of the reasons why they did kickstarted the tabletop season 3, because they didn't want to have to deal with investors, because investors get to tell you what to do. Because if you don't do what they tell you, they take their money away, and then the show dies. And anyone that put any work into it that was expecting money back loses all of their money. So it's a double-edged sword. There are other ways to fund. Kickstarter is one of them, and crowdfunding. That is basically people paying for something that doesn't exist because they really support these people. Okay, that's fine. Something that's a little bit older than that video game companies have been doing for a while, and book manufacturers will do it as well. It is what is called pre-ordering. Pre-ordering is people will pay for something that doesn't technically exist yet in order to support it, and because they want it. Now, when pre-ordering first happened, it was in the days of physical media, and one of the big, good things about pre-ordering was it guaranteed you a copy. In the days of primarily physical media, stores could sell out and did sell out a lot. And so in order to make sure that you could get something that you wanted when you wanted it right on launch day, you would pre-order. And it was a very simple process. You paid them for the game, and then you just came and picked it up. The company, therefore, got their money early, which is good for them because now they don't have to wait for the money to start rolling in a few months. They can get some of the money now, and they can use that again to pay people, to work, to start investing in marketing and all these things. Pre-orders are a very big thing. Another thing that they do with pre-orders is they will base how many units they are supposed to ship on their pre-orders. And retailers will base how many units they're going to purchase from the manufacturer or from the developer on their pre-orders. So if not a whole lot of pre-orders go, the retailer won't buy a whole lot of copies, which means the developer doesn't get a whole lot of money, and they have to hope that they can make it up by people buying the game later and then retailers purchasing more from them. That's how this works. So pre-orders are a very good deal. Now, in the world of digital media, where you don't have to rely on a pre-order to get it, you can just download it. That creates an issue because there's now no longer a reason to pre-order. And that's a large part of the market that helps them immensely. And so they've started finding ways to reward their pre-order customers. Pre-order customers are their best customers. They pay them for something that doesn't exist, and they're guaranteed to purchase the game by pre-ordering it. It's a very good thing. And so they want to reward these customers because they're doing a very good thing for the company. And so they give them what are called pre-order exclusives. What that does is it gives these people kind of a justification. Well, I am a loyal customer, and so I'm going to support this company by buying something that I haven't seen, no one has reviewed it. I trust this company to make good things. And some companies have betrayed that trust, and that's why there's such a big deal about it. So they want to give them something nice. Now, normally pre-order stuff, you'll get like a hat or something. Scott Tumulty in his vlog mentioned this, and he mentioned that he doesn't really care about the pre-order stuff, which will never give him incentive to pre-order, which doesn't help the companies at all. So they need to make something that's actually worth it. So this time they're making something that's really, really awesome, which is this downloadable content. It's really amazing. So that's what they're doing. And people are getting all upset now because they're like, well, that's not fair. I want that, but I don't want to pre-order. The purpose of this content, the reason they created it, was to reward their pre-order people, because those are the true loyal customers. Someone that buys a game because it's a good game is not really a loyal customer. They're a smart customer because they're buying something of value. If you are a truly loyal customer, then if a company tells you something like buy my game, you will buy it because you trust the company, not because you trust. And I've seen comments where they're sitting there's like, well, they don't believe, the reason they're doing this is that they don't believe in the quality of their game, and they're just trying to bait and switch. No, they're not. They're trying to make money, because in order for a company to continue making video games, they have to make money. That's how the world works, folks. It really is. And this idea that, now we're all pissed off at them because they won't give me this thing that they promised as a reward to their pre-order customers it's insulting to the game manufacturers. It really is. Now, again, you're an amazing, wonderful person, and I think you're an incredibly intelligent person as well. But getting upset because you're not willing to be a truly loyal customer, I don't think is justifiable. And I'm not saying you're a bad person or anything like that. Again, I think you are an amazing, awesome person, and everyone that's watching this, you need to go over to Scott's channel and subscribe to him and watch everything that he does, because he is really fantastic at this. He really is. But you mentioned in your video that I am a loyal customer and I deserve to have my loyalty rewarded by being able to purchase this content. You're not. Like I said before, a truly loyal customer will do what someone tells them to do because they are loyal to them. If you're just buying good games, you're a smart customer because you're buying the thing that gives you the greatest value. But if a company... It's kind of the same idea as a sports team. Like, I am a Milwaukee Brewers fan because I live in Wisconsin, and I don't know if you guys watch baseball, but the Brewers kind of suck right now. I have not been to a game in a very, very long time because games cost money, but I really love them, and anytime I get a chance, I watch them. Just because they're doing poorly doesn't mean that I go cheer for another team for a little while. That's what loyalty is. The people that buy season tickets for a team that's doing poorly, those are called loyal fans, because they are. They're supporting their team even when they're doing poorly. Why is that important to the team? Because they have to pay all their players, and even if their players are playing poorly, they still have bills to pay, and they're not going to play if you don't pay them. And so loyal fans support them even when they're making crap, basically. And that would be a loyal fan to a game series. Now, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to some people, because they're like, well, that does, I don't want to pay for crap, and I don't want these people making crap. I agree with you. However, if you want to support them, if you want to give them the money so that they can stop making crap and they can hire better designers and better artists and things like that, which all cost a lot of money, you need to support them. And pre-ordering is one way that you can do that. So if you're not willing to pre-order, which is fine, that's not a bad thing. You don't want to pre-order, that's 100% fantastic. Do not get upset because they decide that they want to be nice to their people that are paying their bills. I'm going to be 100% honest. I have patrons. And to be perfectly honest, if I have to do something, and I have been doing this, I give my patrons sneak peeks to the stuff that I'm doing. They found out about Lore Explorer about a week or two before anyone else did. They got to see the intro first because they are paying me. And they deserve to get something for supporting me because they're amazing, wonderful, awesome people. I'm going to treat them nice. And I would be very upset if I released like a blooper reel or something to only my patrons, and then the other people that watch my content without without paying for it, which is not a bad thing. I appreciate every single one of you, and you're awesome, amazing people, and I love you to death. And the reason I make this is to entertain everybody, not just my patrons. But if someone was to get upset that I was giving my patrons something that I wasn't giving them, I would be insulted. Because I'd say, well, these people are being very, very nice to me. They like what I do enough to support me financially, which is a big deal to me. You guys know I've had money problems. And so people that are willing to support me financially for any amount, even if it's just a $1 donation on my Twitch stream, that means a ton to me. It really does. And I want to thank them by giving them something of value. That is exactly what these companies are doing with these pre-order bonuses. Now, some people are getting a little bit upset about, them being retail specific. Again, this is done for the retailers. I've worked in retail. It's a tough business. It's unbelievably demeaning. And especially if you work in a large chain, it's very difficult because the people that are making the decisions for the chain, 9 times out of 10, don't actually work in the stores. They work in the corporate office. And I can get into that argument later. But it makes it very difficult. So one of the things they do, again, loyal customers will come to the store and purchase the game from their favorite retailer. It's the same thing with your friendly local game shop. I can buy the D&D starter set for like 12 bucks online. It's 20 bucks at my friendly local game store. I'm going to buy it from my friendly local game store because I want to support them, because I am a loyal customer there. And it's the same thing. They want to reward their loyal customers. And so they actually will go into negotiations with these developers and say, listen, if you give us something exclusive that we can give that gives people incentive to use our store and help us to make money so that we can pay our employees and so that we can expand the business and we can pay our CEO and all that, we will buy more games from you, which helps the developers because then they're getting more purchases, because retailers will purchase the games directly from the developers and then sell them to you. So when you're not buying directly from the developer, they get that money a little bit earlier, which is great. And retailers will base how much they're going to buy based on their pre-orders. So if they're not getting a whole lot of pre-orders, they're not going to negotiate a very large purchase, and that means the developer suffers. And if people are buying everything online and not coming into the stores, the retailers suffer. And so they are all interconnected. Retailers depend on the developers to make good games so that people come into their stores to buy them. Developers depend on the retail to get their games to people out there, because when you're in a store, it's much easier to market to you and it's much easier to get you to buy extra things. It's what I did. I was a salesman. I have studied this for the past 4 years and I'm phenomenally good at it, not to toot my own horn. So all of these things are interconnected, and now we have a large group of people that are saying, well, it's not fair that these people get something I don't because they're willing to do something I'm not. That's how it works. That would be like me getting mad that I don't have my picture up on the wall of my favorite restaurant because I haven't eaten on 100-pound, not 100, dear God, that would be a lot of meat. Like a 20-pound steak. If you guys have ever seen movies and stuff like that, if you can finish a steak in an hour, that would be like people going, I want my picture on that wall. Okay, well, here, buy this steak. I don't want to buy the steak. I just want my picture on that wall. I will pay you to put my picture on that wall, but I don't want to buy the steak. Well, it doesn't work that way. And the same thing is true about these pre-order bonuses. You want them? Good. Pre-order the game. If you don't want to pre-order the game, you have just said, I don't want this content. If the content is really, really good, congratulations. You now have an incentive to pre-order, to become a more loyal customer, to actually support these people in a truly loyal fashion. It doesn't matter if the game is good, bad, or otherwise. You're going to say, I trust you. I think you're good, and I want to help you make more games. So I am going to give you my money without seeing the finished project. And if it's bad, oops, but I want to support you. I want to help you to make more games because I like what you do. And I think you're an awesome game developer, and I think you deserve to get paid for what you do. That's what pre-ordering is. That's what it is. So, again, Scott, you're an amazing, wonderful, awesome person. I cannot say this enough. Everyone that's watching this, please go subscribe to Scott's channel because he's phenomenal. However, you are looking at this backwards. You really are. You need to look at this as, if you don't trust them enough to pre-order the game, fantastic. That is your right to do that. But don't get mad that they decide to reward the people who will do that with something really, really nice. Because it doesn't mean anything if they reward them with something crappy. Why, if I pre-ordered a game and I got a bag of dog shit, I wouldn't feel very good about that, and I probably wouldn't pre-order again. However, if I pre-order something and they give me something really nice, I'm going to feel like they appreciate me, which they do. So that's my long rant. If you guys have opinions on this, please post them in the comments, or what I would prefer, make a video. Because videos are much, much cooler, and then I can send traffic to your channel, which I like doing. However, I do ask that if you have an opinion, try and present it in a professional manner. Name calling and things like that they're not things that need to happen. So yeah, in the comments below, guys, please tell me, what are your opinions on pre-order games? And again, please take into account that pre-orders are how a lot of these game companies pay their bills, and it makes a huge impact on their livelihood. It really, really does. All right. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, in the doobly-doo, I will have links to Scott's channel itself and his vid that he did on this, because while I disagree with him, I think he presented it in a fairly good way. I think he's wrong, but that's okay. And everything else on his channel is phenomenal. And so it'll make a lot more sense if you actually watch it. I'm really sorry about how long this was, guys. I promise to do something a little bit shorter tomorrow, but this is something that I feel really, really strongly about. All right? So that is all for me today. I promise you I will make another random vlogging tomorrow, because I wasn't able to yesterday because I wasn't home at all. Again, not going to talk about it. I'm working on a script for a Friday Feature Focus this week, so hopefully I'll be able to get both of those done. So again, I will see you tomorrow for another random vlogging. All right? Bye-bye.